Hello everyone, how you doing? You have to bear with me on this live stream because we are on a Zoom call, riding with the people I'm riding with on Rouvy. So I need to change this so you can see what I see. Bop, 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 bop. There you go. Happy days. Cool, you should be able to see what I see now. How you doing, gang? Ah, Anthony, how you doing? No, it's only 10 kilometers. It's only 10 kilometers. It's only a social. It's only a social. We're just chatting. There's no race. There's no race. There is no race. So yeah, quick explanation. We've got a Zoom call happening with everybody over here, which you can't see, but I'm going to be chatting with everybody. I think there's like 20. Well, there's 28 of us in this ride. Alex Dosset did his at 12. Mark Beaumont, Ultra Endurance Phenomenon, did his at 10 AM, which was like 4 hours ago, nearly. And now we're doing ours at 2. So yeah. So if I'm chatting over here, you can listen in. Don't worry. Hello. It's not that bad, is it? Charlie doesn't like it, so it's not staying. I recognize some of the names, yeah. Yeah, I'm just logging in. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, uncontrollable, yeah. Would help if I had the trainer on. sorted now, anyway. I'll be cycling in and out of mute, guys. So if you're watching on the live stream on YouTube, I've muted myself on Zoom, and I'll just chat as and when. So yeah, Jason's here. Oh, Isaac's made it. McMeister. Stephen, nice to have you in. We can do this on Discord as well. We don't just have to do it on Zoom. Which part are we on then, Anthony? Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat on YouTube as well, so if I miss anything, I'm sorry. How is the YouTube live stream? Is it okay? Everything alright? They are advertising this as a race, and I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Yeah, I did one. I did one event. I can't believe how immersive it is. To be honest, it's completely different to the others that I've used in the past, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing how. Well, I've never ridden in Taiwan, so I mean, this is like the next best thing, isn't it? Yeah. Well, hopefully I can still ride and not have any issues. What's the last 10k, is it? Ah, right. "33 minutes is the fastest time. And the fastest time is an hour and 5. The slowest is hour and 5, hour and 10. Go and work at that. No problem at all, and nice to meet you. No, it's great to do it. Both for I think doing it virtually, it might just be the way forward with lots of things, especially like the opportunities we have now with indoor cycling. Well, Saturday, recently my Saturdays have been indoor training, just because the weather's been so bad. Really makes it so much easier. First for me, yeah, I've never. So I've raced in Korea, in South Korea in the past, twice. Our team used to go and do the tour of Taiwan, but I never went to that race. So this is my first time racing in Taiwan. I don't think I'll be able to do that and engage with people at the same time. So. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. She's also a very good hill climber out on the road. I have had a couple of messages back and forth with her over the last couple of months. Not many messages, but it was mainly about like when the national champs was cancelled. Not cancelled, well, cancelled for me. Yeah, and she's a big e-racing fan, e-cycling fan. Oh, you guys aren't interrupting at all on YouTube. You guys can do your thing. Chatting, watching. You can all be part of it. There's a link down below as well in the description. I don't know if Lord is here yet, but there's some info there if you fancy donating, obviously. Yeah, terrific effort from Phil this morning. Fair play, Phil. Fair play indeed. By the way, do you like the jersey I'm repping today? I thought I'd better wear something, considering we're going up against Alex Dowsey and Mark Beaumont. Two big cheeses in the world. I did notice your comment, Zach, earlier, talking about if I'm feeling any like changes in heart rate or anything, like any adverse effects. Negative. Nothing. Zilch, nada. I have zero symptoms, to be honest. And I think to be honest, I can probably train, but it's a bit of a kick in the backside. I don't have to. No, it's not an event-only platform here. Alex wasn't biking, was he? He was just... celebrity rider. Wow, more than 50 cycling clubs are represented today. Pretty surreal that you're able to ride the same road. Cheers, Anthony. I'm getting all nervous now. All nervous. .36 small ring, Anthony. Raised over 4,000. Oh. 33:32, blimey. Cheers, Toby. I know, Liam, I know. So many people say that. No, I think thanks for putting the event on. I think as you said earlier, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions, even if it's just a chat. Doesn't even have to be questions. Just like if we were out riding as a group, you know. I won't press too hard, only because it'll take away oxygen from my brain, and I'll not be able to give you good answers or anything like that. So I'll just casually ride along with the rest of you. Yeah, well, I've got 9 days now until it comes off, so I'm counting down. Yeah. Luckily, the mask, obviously, when I'm wearing a mask, people don't see it, so that's a bonus. Yeah. Yeah, although it's getting to the point now where the bristles are rubbing against each other, and that's irritating enough as it is. No, all for a good cause. You too. Well, it's not an event, but I did one particular climb out in Portugal as part of the famous Volta Portugal, the Tour of Portugal. It took us 1 hour and 20 minutes to race up it, so that was a long way. Although it's nothing compared to the full length of this climb. Love your jersey. I think it was about 5%. It wasn't too crazy. No problem at all. Yeah, here we go. Oof. Oof. Wow, the gradient kicks in instantly. Yeah, I didn't find that that niche until quite late, actually. Probably. So I started cycling seriously in 2010, 2011. Wasn't probably until 4 years ago where I started to like manipulate my diet and things. And I went from about 65 kilos to 60, which is where I kind of hang around now. And that's where I've stayed. But since then, my power's kept going up, so I've got stronger overall, and therefore, well, just naturally faster on the climb. So it's kind of been a bit of a natural progression, really. Oof. Yeah. The event still went ahead, so it was a difficult one to take, really, because I knew obviously that I would lose the title, but I'd lose it by default because I wouldn't be at the event. Not necessarily meaning that I wouldn't win if I was there, but it's probably one of the worst situations you can find yourself in when you're training and preparing for one thing, and you get there and you realise you can't participate. I had to try and find something else to do, but that's not very easy with what was going on at the time. So I ended up just using like Strava or other things to keep me motivated. I don't think, to be honest, I really was motivated after that, because once I knew, which was about 2 weeks before, I just kind of went like that, because there was nothing to hold on to have to chase. So probably the lowest point of the year, but there's always next year. So Wales went into local lockdown. So certain areas in South Wales went into local lockdown maybe a month before. And then when they came out of local lockdown, the Welsh government said we're going to go into a full lockdown, whole country, for 2 weeks.
to see how that would affect things. And the irony being that during that 2 weeks the nationals were taking place in Oxford, or in that area, so I couldn't travel there. There was a couple of things where people, it was like not a loophole, but people were saying there may be an opportunity for you to kind of claim that you're an elite athlete or you're a national champion or whatever, so you should be able to go to the event, but there was too many rules that were kind of clashing, if that makes sense, and there wasn't anything that was just crystal clear saying yes, you can go and you can do it. So if it wasn't clear in my mind, to me I wasn't going to go, and I couldn't have gone anyway because there was too many of those things that were stacking against me. It's always difficult as well, like I obviously have people watching me, you know, there's eyes on me and what I do, and people follow me, so there was a certain amount of responsibility with that as well. So if I went there, you know, how does that look? So it's not just sometimes you know, your own personal ambitions, it's how it comes across as well. So but there we go. How's it going on YouTube, guys? Yeah, it looks pretty steep here, 12%, like. Yeah, Niels, you can definitely come next year. Yeah, it's pretty good actually, Anthony. You've been here. Get to hear what it's like from your end. Back to the studio. Oh, nice flat section. That looks like Nick there with Jason. This is a lovely road. Oh, thanks for that, Anthony. I'm actually, well, there's very few rooms here because we're in a flat. Oh, you mean where am I exactly? I'm in Swansea, so I'm about as far as you can go on the M4 motorway west. That's about the easiest way to describe it to people. Yeah, he must be a fair few meters ahead of me. You reckon it's going to take me 40, Anthony? I know, I'm not very good at multitasking. North or south? North. Stool Dam has probably the hands down the climb up to the dam itself. It's much like what you'd get on the continent with lots of switchbacks, very short space of road between them, so it's like a zigzag all the way. Very steep as well, and a great view of the top. So I think there's a cafe at the bottom, so I don't know what more you want really. Yeah, the continent. It's changed a little bit, because when I used to race for like professional teams in the UK, the goal of it was just to bring a side of it that I think we tend to see at the top level. So in the Tour de France, where say teams will do like a backstage pass type of thing, but they only end up being, you know, for a certain race or for the Tour de France, and then they're not really, you don't really show much more. And to me it was always interesting because that's the bit we always want to see, or at least I wanted to see. You know, I don't necessarily want to see the race side of it because I knew what that was like. I'm sure lots of riders know what racing's like, but yeah, it was just to try and show that aspect of it and be quite consistent and regular with it, because it is, to a certain extent, it's like Groundhog Day. A lot of it is the same stuff, but there can be times where you pick up on like small little nuggets of information. And now that I've gone my own way a little bit. I'm now focusing more on like my own cycling and doing events that I want to do, doing races I want to do, you know, training and coaching the way I want to do that, and showing that side of it, and showing the growth, and showing how you prepare for an event. So it doesn't really have like, you know, a specific aim. It's just more of like a, you know, if you fancy being, if you're training for an event, for example, and it just happens to be similar length, or, you know, it's going to take similar fitness levels or anything, you know, you can kind of almost follow along on that. At least, you know, that's the feedback I get from a lot of people. So it's nice. It's certainly developed into something more than I thought it would. Like, I didn't think, I know everybody says that, like I didn't think it would grow and it would reach, but in all honesty, I'm just doing what I do every day. It's not, you know, nothing's like rehearsed or different, and that's what I think people understand already, really. Yeah, because it's a little bit like the Instagram versus reality thing, you know, where people often see the end result, but they don't often see the preparation that goes into it. And I think the preparation is often the place where, if we get it right, we obviously get the end result that we deserve. But yet, we spend very little time looking at it. We spend lots of time looking at the goal and very little of that bit in between. I have to say, like, it's helped me a lot because it keeps me accountable as well. You know, if I say, you know, I'm going to do this session, it's going to be the hardest session I've ever tried, and I live stream it, for example, then all of a sudden it becomes more than just me versus the session. It's also, you know, people watching it, people engaging with it. They can then, you know, try the session themselves. So it almost has a, you know, an accountability side of it that, like, people say to me, how do you manage to ride indoors for so long? A lot of it is down to people watching me doing it, you know. It's quite simple as that. Niels, you've caught me at a bad moment. I'm on one of the steeper sections. I tell you, it's a really nice piece of road. I bet it's a lot of fun riding on it. The tarmac looks nice. The corners are nice and flowy. Mention your name as much as everyone else. Cheers, Kev. I honestly didn't think the scenery would be like this. I didn't know what to expect actually. So, but it's very it's nothing like the roads that I raced on in Japan. Well, Japan fairly similar. Korea not quite, as far as I'm remembering. But then again. Yeah, but I never raced to this this elevation in either of those countries, so maybe it's that. That is an incredible view. Yeah. That's where you need to get off and just lower your tyre pressure a little bit. Yeah, definitely, yeah. And they're always the tight little lanes as well with twists and turns. But, oh wow. We've just come to like a barrier section now. Well, I have anyway. 4.5 kilometers in. Lots of cars. That's a tough question. I think a lot of people would say that genetically I must have had something. Particularly with my power numbers now, because I don't think you get to the power numbers I have now without some kind of genetic advantage or something. However, I came from just playing football regularly, at a fairly high level locally, but in terms of like actually doing anything prior to cycling, I never did anything. When I did actually start training, which must have been just under 2 years before I turned pro, I periodized my whole year. Like I really put emphasis on, like, I self-coach myself, but because I was involved in a cycling club, which I know a lot of people are who have been, riding today, I was able to, like, pick information out of people. And I think the support that you get from that level, which is grassroots, is invaluable when you go forward. And I think I applied a lot of it and was very quiet. So I just basically got on with it, and I realised that there were a lot of riders who've been riding since they were maybe 8, and I started probably when I was about 15, 16. So in my mind, it was a little bit of, I need to catch up. But it's funny how would you do that? Like how would you catch up? I don't think, like I said, I think just properly periodizing my year, having focuses on what sort of races I want to aim for, which then was the Junior National Road Race Series. There was only 6 of them in the year, so very easy to focus on them. And just having one big goal, which was the end of August, the end of the year, and it was almost like the mentality I had then was very different to the one I had now. I almost had the mentality of, the guy that kind of stereotypical guy that goes to a gym, and you see the kind of montages on YouTube where he's like in the zone, nobody can talk to him, there's just nothing phases it. That was me. When I was 16, I used to train through everything, illness, everything. I'm not saying that's right, but that's just the mindset I was in then. Different now because I've had so many other experiences, and mentors as well. But at the end of the day, I still think my progression's still been very slow, only up until the last 3 or 4 years, and that's where I've become more niche then, and people have recognised me more, I think, in the last 4 years. You could get it as a Spotify, make a donation. Links down below, guys. Flipping heck. Anthony, is this what Taiwan's like? True, Josh. I would usually just have 2 Philip, to be honest. Sorry, I missed it. That's incredible. Funny enough, in Swansea, I used to have medical checks down there every year with the team I was with HMT Sancta Maria. Yeah, it's. I'd love to. Yeah, keep me informed of that, because it's certainly something. You know, I personally, anything that affects a child's life, you know, particularly when it's such a young age, when, you know, they don't really know what's happening, do they really? And you're giving them that opportunity so that when they do kind of grow up and they look back on it, it gives them a completely different outlook on life for the most part. We are enjoying the view, Anthony. We're really enjoying the view. Tell you what, I'll really love this if I do it in real life. Well, I think that's a given. I think if the hill is any longer than 5 minutes, I think you'll struggle to find a British rider that'll compete. When flat section coming up. It used to be, my busiest year I think was 2017 I think it was, where I did the Tour of Ireland, Tour of Korea, Tour of Japan and the Tour of Portugal. They were spread out, but I think they were between May and August, so it was quite a hectic few months during the middle of the season there. It's always been the team that I used to race with, which was Rafa Kondo GLT, and it changed names a couple of times. Probably one of the most successful teams ever in Britain. Had such good riders on that team, not least Ed Clancy, who's a multiple Olympic and world champion, and usually I think we'd spend at least 2 or 3 months in total of the year on the road. But nowadays completely different, not because of coronavirus, but more because of just the way events are now. A lot of them are online, particularly during the winter, and I think because of the step that I've taken now, where I'm like racing and doing things under my own kind of steam, I'm able to select the events that I want to do and be a bit more savvy. And it's funny because training is where you get stronger, and obviously rest is where you get stronger. And if you're racing all the time, you can't necessarily train specifically, and you also can't rest very well either. You're either racing or you're resting, and none of that is really specific. So when I started, I think it tallies up really, when I started to kind of focus on hill climbing, that became my niche, and then I just got better at it because I was actually had less time racing the races that didn't suit me, and more time racing the races that did suit me. So it's often a case of training your strengths. Okay, let's fast down a little bit. Oh. Oh no, what is this? I think you cheated though, you're wearing a skin suit. No, that's in the Arctic now, I'll never see that again. my national champ skin suit. No, I'm just wearing a jersey and shorts. Here we go then. Well, if the rest of the climb is anything like this, sign me up. No, definitely not. Have you done a virtual one recently or not? Wow, incredible. Phil, when are you going to come out and do this event? Well, I got 450 meters to go. Yeah, and it was also over in about a minute. Yes, Phil. We're all coming out in 2021. All of us. All of us can come out in 2021 with pedal time on. Get a cycling holiday booked. That's not something you want to hear, is it? Apparently it took people 4 hours to descend this. Yes. Oh. People are cheering me on as I come through the top, the summit for the sprint finish. Oof, that'll be a tough last corner. Apparently Nibbly ascended it in 3.5 hours, and people had descended it in 4. That was mega. I think that has to be done. Nice and Jason. Wow. Oh. The Isaac Noel who came second. He's local. He's I think he's, I can't remember his age now. 17, 18. No, it must be 18. Yeah, he's in my local cycling club. I'm not going to live that down now. It's the last weekend of October, Phil, every year. They were just talking about sending me the whole route so I can ride it on Rouvy. The whole route. I should definitely do that, shouldn't I? Might as well as part of a training ride if I'm doing it indoors. You know, be a good recce. Yeah. full gas. Are you crazy, Phil? Yes, you are, because you did an hour FTP test. Apparently an 11-year-old has done the whole event in real life. Yeah, Phil, you could be very useful for me if you did want to do a domestic role. I could even split the prize money with you. Scott, if you do filming, I'll split the prize money with you. To be honest, that last bit, it just looks like a wall in front of you as you come towards the line. So I'm assuming, even if someone was 20 meters ahead of you, I'm sure like if you sprinted hard enough, you could easily get them. Yeah, it could make a good video series, couldn't it, Lord? Anthony, we'll definitely hit you up when we come out. 100%, we'll hit you up. Oh, there we are. An hour and a half for free. Deal. Shake on it, sir. No, what happened in 2016? I'm Oh, I've heard of John Ebson. Doesn't he live in Asia now, John? Jay Hindley is like... Jay Hindley... I took down Jay Hindley in the Tour of Ireland once. Pulled back his breakaway single-handedly. Just saying. Oh, wow. I've managed to change my view, and I can see people coming into the finish on like a bird's eye view of the last few kilometers. In the top right hand corner, if you finish, there's 4 little icons, and the one on the left changes your view. Ah, does he? Calling a bit. Nice one, Stephen. That was majestic. Fair play to you, sir. No, loved it. You tell him, Anthony. Yeah, definitely, Stephen. Definitely. Yeah, cool, we'll do that only. Yeah, it's been brilliant. Maybe his brakes are rubbing. I have to say that was absolutely brilliant fun. They've raised nearly £4,000-5,000 just today. That's incredible. Well, I rode. Well, there was actually a race up the climb in. Well, it's near Aberystwyth. It was named the world's steepest hill. Yeah, that's the one. And New Zealand have taken it back now. But yeah, we did Welsh Cycling actually organised a race there. And I think the fastest time up it was about 58 seconds. But in all honesty, I have ridden up steeper climbs. It was just on the corner where it was the steepest. But I would say that one corner in particular, it was mind-bending. It was, you couldn't... it was close to 40%. Yeah. So you wouldn't be. I walked up it prior to racing up it. I don't think you could actually walk up the inside of it because it's almost, you'd almost have to hold on to something to pull yourself up that bit. So it just so happens to be the first part of the hill though. So you come at it with a lot of speed. So I say you come at it with a lot of speed. You know what I mean. But you could come around it at the outside, so it'd be a bit shallower. But I don't think it's not advisable to hit that that section, to be honest. I've heard conflicting rumours. So for those of you that don't know, Wynets is supposed to be the venue for the National Hill Climb Championships next year. Some people are saying it's going to be on the traditional course, which is quite short, 3 minutes or so, and then the longer course they're saying it possibly might be closer to 10 minutes. Obviously, I prefer the longer one. If it's a shorter one, as long as it's not shorter than 3 minutes, I'll be happy with that because at least it gives me something to train for. It's difficult when you train for anything shorter because a lot of it comes down to less so on the bike stuff, and I'd say gym work and things like that comes into it quite a lot. And yeah, it's just about hurting yourself for 2 minutes. It's a very difficult one. Yeah. So it is basically like a time trial, but uphill. They set you off. Usually they set you off at a minute intervals, but it depends on how short the course is. They can run 30-second intervals, and they can also run kind of side by side. So you'd have two starting gates. One would go, and then 30 seconds after another one go, so they can quickly filter people through. That it's made easier if you have a closed road, but you'd be surprised how much money that costs to close a road. Yeah, so the one I won on HIIT in 2019, that was an open road, and there were I was stuck behind a car with about 700 meters to go. Thankfully, it was a flatter section of the climb, so the car was able to kind of just pull away quick enough before I was coming up to the back of it. there was a tailwind that day, so I'm not here claiming that I'm as fast as a car. Yeah, that is the difficulty. You know, I've raced in plenty of places where, you know, cycling is one of their top ranked sports, and they'll do anything to make, you know, it as easy as possible for the riders, and, you know, as good to watch as well if you're a spectator. So it depends on the length of it, because I'm not a punchy rider. So the shorter climbs of like 2 to 3 minutes, I can do, you know, about 500 watts. If you're looking at, you know, a longer climb, which is more my bag, I can do like 12 to 15 minutes at 400 to 420 watts. So, you know, for somebody my weight, it's a lot of power, which then obviously means, you know, you go uphill quite fast. Yes. Cheers, Andrew. I've done a fair ride. I always say that, you know, it's all relative, isn't it? You know, we're all trying as hard as one another. Some people just finish the climb faster. So, you know, if anything, you know, the people who are taking, you know, 45 minutes to an hour to do this hill, they're actually like trying harder than we are, you know, and that has to be, well, it is in a lot of hill climbs, you know, that is rewarded. You know, you get prizes now, which happens to be usually a free entry to next year's event. so you can put yourself through it all over again. Sorry, Hex. Top man. Wiser Ed. I appreciate that. Well done, everybody. Well done. Cheers. There we have it. If you're still in the chat, I just want to end by saying thank you very much for joining. Sorry that was a little bit weird for you, I suppose. But it was something I was doing with Pedal Taiwan, something I was doing with Action Medical Research as well. And if you want to donate, there's a link down below in the description trying to help, obviously children who are, not as fortunate as us, particularly now during this time with coronavirus. I know everybody's struggling with it as well, but particularly Action Medical, are doing things for children around the world in particular. And, it was a no-brainer when they contacted me. Absolutely brilliant to be involved with them, plus Alex Dowsett and Mark Beaumont. And of course, next year it opens up a chance for me to go out to Taiwan and actually do this event, do the event for real, do the event seriously, and hopefully bring you some good content along the way. Cheers, Lord, you're an absolute star. You're an absolute star. And yeah, to be honest, not much more I can say apart from, thank you to everybody involved who got that, going. The only reason we couldn't see other riders, Luke, was because they couldn't get it set up in time. It was a bit of a struggle and last minute thing, but at the end of the day, we got in a ride, we got to meet some new people, and we also get to share something that maybe some of you can get involved in with the donations. If you do want to see me going out there and doing it, one of the ways you can kind of let Pedal Taiwan know that that you want me out there is to obviously donate, let them know you've donated because of me, and of course take pictures and share what you've seen today and post it anywhere on social media and tag them, tag me, and they'll love to see that. They really, really will. So you're doing all of us, everybody proud. So thank you so much for watching. It's been wonderful. And now I'm going to sign off. I will see you very, very soon. Thank you so much, guys. Pleasure, as always. And for those of you that rode, including you, Jason,